Is your business ready to start advertising? It's a question that I've been getting a lot, and it's actually a really important question, right? Because on one hand, it's like, man, I've heard a lot of stories of people wasting a lot of money on ads. I don't know if I'm ready for that, right? But on the other hand, you've also heard stories of, man, this person's really scaled their business with ads. I think we need to get on the paid ads train. Like, what should I do?
What should I do? What should I do?
So in this video, I wanna dive in to help you answer that question if your business is ready to start advertising. I've got a couple stories to share that will help guide you in the right direction. I got some qualifying questions you should ask yourself that will help you decide if you're ready or not. So buckle up and enjoy. So when it comes to advertising your business, the first thing that you need to know is that advertising is like pouring gas on a flame. It just amplifies and makes bigger what you already have working. And it can also make bigger what you don't have working, right? So if like you don't have a great offer and customers, you're gonna have to spend money to see if people even want it in the first place. In fact, one of the first campaigns we ran 10 years ago for a client, we spent like 10 grand on ads. He got one customer and I'm like, oh my gosh, are our ad campaigns that bad? I called him up, I said, hey, the videos we launched and the campaigns we launched, like they're not working. We've only had one customer. He's like, okay, well, let's spend more money on ads. And I'm like, dude, I don't think spending more money on ads is going to solve your problem. And I asked like, how many customers have you had? He's like, oh, I haven't had any. I said, I know you haven't had any customers from the ad campaigns we launched, but in general, like how many customers have you had? He's like, oh, I've never had customers. Like we haven't had any yet. And I'm like, dude, I don't think spending more money on ads is gonna solve your problem because you don't even know if you have a good product or offer or service and like what to say to people that would inspire them to even wanna buy from you. So I said, go get some customers first before we turn ads back on because I don't wanna waste your money. So again, if you have something working, ads will amplify it. And if you don't have something working, you're gonna learn pretty quickly that you gotta fix your product, service, or offer. Okay, so that's the first thing. As far as some questions that you can ask yourself, one, do I have a proven and valuable offer? And you can quantify that by like, do you have at least 3 customers or clients that have worked with you that have had a great experience? And I like that as a qualifier because one, it proves you know what messaging that you need to say to people that would attract them and get them to want to buy from you. And two, if you have a customer testimonial, that's a good signal that, hey, this person had a great experience working with you and you've got a good product or service. So I wouldn't recommend advertising unless you have at least 3 customer testimonials, and then you can kind of start doing your thing, right? So that's the first question. The second question is, am I committed to testing this out for 90 days? Some people, we launch their campaigns, and really the first month you launch an ad campaign, it's about learning. Like you're not gonna get a huge return on ad spend month 1 because you're testing your message, your videos, your audiences, your offer, and you're kind of just learning where people go. Some people, after a couple weeks, they throw their hands up, like, oh, we tried it, it's not working, ads don't work. Well, they do work, you just aren't committed to learning and improving your marketing and sales system. So whatever you do, whatever offer you have, commit to it for 90 days and be willing to lose money that first month on ads, just to kind of reset your expectations, right? Because you're learning what works. The third thing is, are you willing to spend money to learn? So this goes with point number 2, but like when you spend money on ads, what will happen is you either win and get sales or you get data and you learn. You never lose. You lose if you don't learn from it, actually. So again, when you spend money, ideally you should have a way for that money to come back to you. So you can spend the money on ads, you get clicks, leads, and then people buy from you and you can see that money coming back in. When that happens, when you can spend 10 grand on ads and show 30 grand in sales, like that's when advertising becomes really fun. You can see the full circle. If you don't though, if you don't see those sales come through, look at the data and what can you learn from it? Right? Maybe you spend 10 grand, but you only make 5 grand in sales. Okay, well, where are people falling off? Are people falling off after views? Are you getting lots of views but no clicks? Are you getting lots of clicks but no leads? Are you getting lots of leads but no customers? Like, you can see where people are falling off in their journey to work with you, and you can find that problem and you can work it and get it to work again. So again, the mindset is, am I willing to spend money to learn? And I think that's important to have. And what I've learned too, when it comes to business, is there's really three components of a business, right? There's the marketing aspect, there's the sales aspect, and there's the fulfillment. Marketing is, this is what we do and who we do it for. And then when people like your marketing material, like, hey, I would like to work with that person, that seems valuable, then you can engage in a sales conversation and you can say, this is what we'll do at this price. If that adds value to the person, they'll say yes, and there's a transaction that happens, and the client gets the product and you get the money. And then after the sales, like, you have to fulfill, right? Can I fulfill on what we promised in the marketing and sales conversation? And can we deliver? And what I've learned is when your advertising and marketing crushes it, it puts stress on the sales and you kind of break your sales team. We've actually had several campaigns where we launch and it brings the client in like tons and tons of leads, and it actually breaks their sales system because they don't have the capacity to take on this many conversations or handle this many leads. So then they have to bring in more sales team, and then they fix the sales process, and now it stresses the fulfillment. Like, they're not able to fulfill and deliver their promise. And so then they have to improve their operations, bring in more people to solve the fulfillment. And then it's like, hey, now we can fulfill and we can sell. Now let's crank up the marketing and the advertising. So then you can go back to marketing. And it's this never-ending cycle of creating problems and solving them and fixing them. And then you create other problems and you fix them and solve them. And that way your business grows. And hopefully if you have a growth mindset, you grow as well. So that's what advertising does, is it can break your business, which is a good thing because you learn from it and you improve it. Some people ask like, well, I'm small, I'm not doing a lot, I don't think ads are right for me. I have a hard time with that because when I started my business, I started from like day one advertising. I just knew like people weren't gonna know about me about our business unless they saw a video or knew we existed. So from there, I didn't spend a lot. I was only spending like $25 a day, and I was watching that thing like a hawk. I was trying to grow my email list, and that's where I started. I spent $25 a day growing my email list. Once my email list hit 1,000 people, I started selling a course. People bought the course and they're like, hey, this is a lot of work. Can you do it for me? I'm like, yeah, sure we can. And that's when we built out the agency and the service, only because people were on our email list. And the only reason they were on our email list is because people saw the videos. And the only reason they saw the videos is because I was willing to create a video and put it out there in front of millions of people and adding value and sharing my story and how we could help other people. So with that being said, I wouldn't recommend advertising unless you have 3 customer testimonials, unless you're willing to commit to it for 90 days and you have a growth mindset, if you're willing to learn and experiment. So given those 3 things, I think you'd be in a great spot to start advertising. And I hope this helps. I want to kind of just reset expectations and make sure that you guys know what you're doing, what you're getting into, and how you can make it work. So those are the questions that I would ask myself when it comes to advertising. So if you're in this boat and you're like, man, I kind of want to advertise, I want to get some more information, and you just want to talk to somebody, you want to talk out what you should be aware of, how it works, some expectations, I would love to have you get on a strategy call with our team. We've been running ads for 10 years. We spent over $100 million on ads. We got a really good idea of what works and what doesn't. And we can tell you, we'll tell you if we think you're ready and if it would be worthwhile for your time to start advertising or not. So if you are at all interested in having that conversation, find the link below, schedule a strategy call with our team, and we can shoot you straight. If you are ready to start advertising, check out the next video because I go into if I had $10,000 to spend on marketing and advertising, here's what I would spend it on. So check it out and I'll see you on the other side. Is your business ready to start advertising? I'm sure you've heard 2 types of stories of people in the ad space, right? You've heard these horror stories of how they lost all this money in ads and it was just a waste of ad spend. And I'm sure you've also heard stories of, man, like that's how we grew our company is through paid ads. Like we were able to spend 10 grand on ads and show $30,000 in sales. Like those 2 stories exist. And I'm sure you're asking, well, based off these 2 stories, where do I fit in? Am I in a good spot to be leveraging ads in my business? So in this video, I walk through the questions that you should be asking yourselves that will help you decide if you're ready to start advertising for your business. So I highly recommend you check it out and get some knowledge on it.